Hello, my friends. Welcome back to our channel. I hope you are doing great and becoming a little better every single day. Today's topic is, the more you know, the less you need to say. Truly wise people do not waste their energy trying to prove themselves. They stay calm, listen carefully, and let their actions speak louder than their words. In this video, we will learn how silence, wisdom, and self-control can make you stronger, more confident, and more respected. So, watch this video until the end because one simple lesson from today could completely change the way you think and communicate. And if you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let's get started. Lesson 1. Wise people listen more than they speak. One of the biggest signs of wisdom is not speaking all the time. It is listening. Truly wise people understand that every person has something to teach. That is why they pay close attention before they give an opinion. Many people think that talking more makes them look smart. They interrupt others, try to win every conversation, and always want the last word. But in reality, people often respect those who stay calm, listen carefully, and speak only when their words add value. Listening helps you learn things that talking never can. When you stay quiet, you notice people's emotions, their intentions, and even the small details they do not say out loud. You understand situations more clearly because your mind is open instead of busy preparing the next sentence. Silence also gives you time to think before you speak. Instead of reacting with emotion, you respond with wisdom. This simple habit can save you from many arguments, misunderstandings, and regrets. Remember, knowledge is not about proving that you know everything. It is about staying humble enough to keep learning. The more you learn, the more you realize that there is still so much you do not know. That is why truly wise people ask thoughtful questions, listen with respect, and choose their words carefully. From today, practice listening more than speaking. Let people finish their thoughts. Observe before you respond. Think before you talk. You may discover that your silence earns more respect than hundreds of unnecessary words ever could. And before we start Lesson 2, please like this video because your one like gives me motivation to create more helpful videos for you. Lesson 2. Confidence does not need to be loud. Many people believe that confident people are the ones who speak the loudest. But true confidence is usually quiet. It does not need attention, approval, or constant praise. A confident person knows who they are, so they do not feel the need to prove it to everyone. Think about the strongest people you know. They do not argue over every small thing. They do not try to impress everyone they meet. They stay calm, speak with purpose, and let their actions show their character. They understand that respect is earned by how you live, not by how much you talk. People who are unsure of themselves often try to fill every silence with words. They explain too much, defend themselves too quickly, and always want others to agree with them. But a truly confident person is comfortable with silence. They know that not every opinion needs a response, and not every criticism deserves an answer. This does not mean you should never speak. It means your words should have a purpose. Speak when you can help someone, teach something valuable, encourage another person, or stand up for what is right. But avoid speaking just to prove that you are smarter than everyone else. Remember, your actions are always louder than your words. A kind action, a disciplined habit, and a calm attitude will leave a stronger impression than a long speech. People may forget what you said, but they will remember how you behaved. So build quiet confidence. Trust yourself. Stay humble. Let your knowledge guide your actions, and let your character speak before your voice does. In the end, people respect those who show wisdom through their life, not through endless talking. Lesson 3. Silence protects your energy. Not every conversation deserves your attention. Not every argument needs your reply. Not every person needs an explanation. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is stay silent and protect your peace. Many people lose their energy by reacting to everything. They answer every negative comment, defend every decision, and try to make everyone understand them. But the more they explain, the more tired and frustrated they become. Wise people understand that some people are not looking for truth. They only want an argument. They are not trying to understand you. They only want to prove you wrong. In such moments, silence is not weakness. It is self-control. When you know who you are, you do not need to answer every false opinion. You do not need to prove your value to people who have already decided not to see it. Your time and energy are too valuable to waste on unnecessary battles. Silence gives you power because it helps you control your emotions. When someone speaks badly to you, your first reaction may be anger. You may want to reply immediately. But when you pause, breathe, and think, you give yourself a chance to respond wisely. A few angry words can destroy a relationship. A careless reply can create a bigger problem. One emotional moment can lead to regret. That is why silence can protect you from saying something you do not truly mean. Being silent does not mean you are afraid. It means you are strong enough to choose peace over drama. It means you understand that winning every argument is not more important than protecting your mind. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. You do not have to correct every person. You do not have to respond to every criticism. Sometimes people will misunderstand you even after you explain yourself. Accept that. You cannot control what everyone thinks. You can only control your own behavior. Save your words for people who listen. Save your energy for work that matters. Save your attention for goals that can improve your life. The more knowledge you gain, the more you understand the value of your energy. You stop wasting it on gossip, pointless arguments, and people who only bring negativity. You become more careful about where you place your attention because you know that attention is part of your life. Whatever receives your attention also receives your time, emotions, and mental power. So, do not give these things away carelessly. Choose your conversations wisely. Speak when your words can bring clarity. Speak when someone truly needs your help. Speak when silence would allow something wrong to continue. But when a conversation only brings anger, confusion, and negativity, walking away may be the strongest answer. Remember, silence is not empty. Sometimes silence says, "I know who I am." Sometimes silence says, "I will not lower myself." Sometimes silence says, "My peace is more important than this argument." The more you know, the less you feel the need to react. You begin to understand that your calmness is more powerful than a loud reply. So protect your energy. Control your emotions. Choose your words carefully, and never be afraid to let silence speak for you. Lesson 4. You do not need to prove everything you know. As your knowledge grows, something inside you begins to change. You stop feeling the need to show everyone how much you know. You stop trying to correct every small mistake. You stop entering every debate just to prove that you are right. This is not because you know less. It is because you understand more. A person with little knowledge may speak with great confidence about everything. They may believe they always have the correct answer. But a wise person understands that life is complex. Different situations have different truths, and there is always more to learn. The more you know, the more humble you become. You realize that knowledge is not a weapon to make others feel small. It is a tool to improve your own life and help people when they truly need it. You do not have to turn every conversation into a competition. You do not have to show that your idea is better. You do not have to make another person look foolish so that you can look intelligent. Real intelligence does not humiliate people. Real wisdom knows how to speak with respect. Sometimes you may clearly know that another person is wrong. You may even have facts to prove it. But before you speak, ask yourself, will my words help this person, or am I only trying to feed my ego? This question can save you from many unnecessary arguments. There is a big difference between sharing knowledge and showing off knowledge. When you share knowledge, your goal is to help. When you show off knowledge, your goal is to receive praise. One comes from kindness. The other often comes from insecurity. A wise person does not need to announce their intelligence. People notice it through their decisions, behavior, and calmness. They notice how you solve problems. They notice how you treat people. They notice how you remain patient under pressure. They notice how carefully you choose your words. That creates deeper respect than constantly talking about your achievements or opinions. You may know the answer, but you do not always need to say it. You may understand the situation, but you do not always need to explain it. You may see someone making a mistake, but sometimes life will teach them better than your words can. This does not mean you should stay silent when someone truly needs guidance. Help when your knowledge can prevent harm, solve a problem, or support another person. But give your advice with humility. Do not speak as if you know everything. Speak as someone who is also learning. People listen more when they feel respected. They become defensive when they feel judged. Even the right message can fail when it is delivered with pride. That is why wisdom is not only about what you say. It is also about how you say it, when you say it, and whether it needs to be said at all. Sometimes silence gives another person space to think. Sometimes one simple sentence is more powerful than a long speech. Sometimes asking a good question teaches more than giving a complete answer. A wise person does not speak to impress. They speak to create understanding. They do not fill the room with words. They wait, observe, and choose the right moment. And when they finally speak, people listen because their words carry meaning. Remember, you do not lose your knowledge by keeping it quiet. You do not become less intelligent because you avoid an argument. You do not become weak because you allow someone else to speak. Your value does not depend on whether everyone recognizes your intelligence. You know what you know. You have learned what you have learned. You do not need constant approval. Let your life show the lessons you have learned. Let your discipline show your knowledge. Let your patience show your maturity. Let your choices show your wisdom. The strongest proof is not your explanation. It is your example. So stop trying to prove everything you know. Stay humble, continue learning, and speak only when your words can truly add value. The more you know, the less you need to say because your actions will already be speaking for you. Lesson 5. Speak with purpose, not for attention. Words are powerful. They can heal someone. They can encourage someone. They can solve a problem. But they can also create pain, confusion, and regret. That is why wise people do not speak carelessly. They speak with purpose. Many people talk because they want attention. They want everyone to notice them, agree with them, or admire them. They speak before thinking, interrupt others, and fill every quiet moment with unnecessary words. But a mature person understands that speaking more does not always mean communicating better. Sometimes fewer words carry more power. A short, honest sentence can be stronger than a long explanation. A calm reply can be stronger than an angry speech. One thoughtful idea can be more valuable than hours of empty talking. Before you speak, ask yourself, is this true? Is this helpful? Is this the right time? Does this really need to be said? These simple questions can change the way you communicate. You may have a good point, but the wrong timing can make it useless. You may know the truth, but speaking without kindness can hurt someone. You may want to help, but if the other person is not ready to listen, your words may only create resistance. Wisdom means understanding not only what to say, but also when to say it. Imagine someone is angry. If you immediately argue with them, the situation may become worse. But if you stay calm, wait, and speak later, your words may be understood. The message may be the same. The timing makes the difference. This is why self-control is so important. You should not allow every emotion to control your mouth. Anger may tell you to attack. Pride may tell you to prove yourself. Fear may tell you to explain too much. Jealousy may tell you to speak badly about someone. But wisdom tells you to pause. That pause is powerful. In that small moment, you can choose whether your words will build something or destroy something. You can choose peace instead of conflict. You can choose understanding instead of ego. You can choose maturity instead of reaction. Once words leave your mouth, you cannot completely take them back. You may apologize, but the other person may still remember the pain. You may explain, but the damage may already be done. That is why controlling your words is better than regretting them later. Speaking with purpose also means avoiding gossip. Gossip may feel entertaining for a few minutes, but it weakens trust. If you speak badly about people when they are not present, others may wonder what you say about them when they leave. Wise people do not use another person's weakness as entertainment. They do not share private information just to feel important. They understand that character is shown by how you speak about people who are not in the room. Your words reveal your inner world. When your mind is peaceful, your words become calmer. When your heart is kind, your words become softer. When your ego is controlled, your words become wiser. But when your mind is full of anger, insecurity, and jealousy, those feelings often appear in your speech. That is why improving your communication begins with improving yourself. You cannot speak with wisdom if you never control your emotions. You cannot speak with kindness if you are always fighting inside. You cannot speak clearly if your mind is full of noise. Work on your inner world, and your words will naturally become better. Also remember that you do not need to have an opinion about everything. Some people feel pressure to comment on every subject. Even when they do not understand something, They still speak with confidence. But there is strength in saying, I do not know. There is wisdom in saying, I need to learn more. There is maturity in admitting, I may be wrong. These words do not make you look weak. They show honesty. A person who pretends to know everything stops learning. A person who admits what they do not know keeps growing. The more you learn, the more comfortable you become with uncertainty. You understand that life is not always simple. Some questions do not have quick answers. Some situations require patience. Some truths become clear only with time. So you stop speaking too quickly. You give yourself time to observe. You listen to different sides. You think deeply. Then, when you speak, your words have weight. People begin to trust you because they know you do not speak without thinking. They know you do not promise carelessly. They know you do not repeat rumors. They know that when you say something, you mean it. This is how respect is built. Not through loudness, not through showing off, not through speaking all the time. Respect is built through honesty, calmness, and consistency. Speak to encourage people, not to control them. Speak to bring clarity, not confusion. Speak to protect someone, not to impress someone. Speak to solve the problem, not to increase the drama. Speak because your words can add value. And when they cannot, let silence protect the moment. You do not need to say everything you think. Every thought does not deserve a voice. Some thoughts are temporary emotions. Some thoughts come from anger. Some thoughts come from fear. Give them time before turning them into words. A wise person understands that silence is not the absence of communication. Sometimes silence is respect. Sometimes silence is patience. Sometimes silence is strength. Sometimes silence is the space where understanding begins. So, become a person whose words have purpose. Do not speak only to be noticed. Do not speak only to prove that you are right. Do not speak only because silence feels uncomfortable. Listen first, think deeply. Choose the right moment. Then say only what is necessary, truthful, and useful. The more you know, the more carefully you speak. And when your words are few but meaningful, people will not ignore them. They will listen. Lesson 6. Let your actions become your loudest message. The more you know, the less you feel the need to explain yourself. You understand that words can promise anything, but actions reveal the truth. A person can say, I am disciplined, but their daily habits will show whether it is true. A person can say, I am kind, but the way they treat weak people will reveal their real character. A person can say, I will succeed, but only their effort, patience, and consistency can turn that sentence into reality. This is why wise people do not spend all their time talking about what they will do. They quietly begin. They work, they improve, they continue, and slowly, their results speak for them. Many people waste energy trying to convince others. They explain their plans again and again. They tell everyone about their goals. They talk about how successful they will become. But talking can sometimes create a false feeling of progress. You feel active because you are speaking about the dream, even though you have not taken real action. That is dangerous. A dream does not become real because you describe it beautifully. It becomes real because you are willing to work for it when nobody is watching. You do not need to announce every goal. You do not need to share every step. You do not need to prove to people that you are changing. Change quietly. Build your habits quietly. Learn quietly. Heal quietly. Then allow your life to show what your words could never prove. Imagine two people. The first person speaks every day about becoming successful. They post big plans, make strong promises, and tell everyone that their life is about to change. But they avoid hard work, give up quickly, and blame others when nothing improves. The second person speaks very little. They wake up early, study, practice, make mistakes, learn, and keep moving. For months, nobody notices them. But one day, their results become impossible to ignore. Which person is more powerful? The one who talked or the one who worked? The answer is clear. Real power is built through action. Your actions create trust. When you keep your promises, people trust you. When you arrive on time, people trust you. When you stay calm during pressure, people trust you. When you continue after failure, people respect you. You do not have to ask for respect when your behavior earns it naturally. The strongest people are often not the loudest people in the room. They do not need to remind others of their value. Their presence feels strong because their life has depth. They have faced difficulty. They have learned from pain. They have controlled their emotions. They have built discipline. Their calmness comes from experience. Their confidence comes from action. This kind of confidence cannot be created through words alone. It is built by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you say, "I will do this," and then do it, you become stronger. Every time you continue when you feel tired, you build self-respect. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. And when you trust yourself, you stop needing constant approval from others. You no longer ask, "Do they believe in me?" You ask, "Am I doing the work?" That is a powerful change. People may doubt you. Let them. People may misunderstand you. Let them. People may laugh at your beginning. Let them. You do not need to answer every person. You do not need to defend every dream. You do not need to prove your future before it arrives. Use that energy to become better. The time you spend arguing could be used for learning. The time you spend explaining could be used for practicing. The time you spend seeking attention could be used for building something meaningful. Do not waste your strength trying to make everyone understand your path. Some people will never understand because they are not walking it. That is okay. Your purpose is not to receive approval from everyone. Your purpose is to become the person you know you can be. Wise people also understand that actions reveal intentions. Someone may say they care about you, but their actions will show whether they truly do. Someone may promise change, but repeated behavior will reveal the truth. Someone may speak kindly in public, but the way they behave in private will show their real character. This is why mature people stop being impressed by words alone. They observe patterns, they watch consistency, they pay attention to behavior. Words can be prepared. Actions are harder to hide. The same rule should be applied to your own life. Do not judge yourself by your intentions. Judge yourself by your habits. You may intend to exercise. But did you exercise? You may intend to learn. But did you study? You may intend to become calm. But did you control your reaction? You may intend to save money. But did your daily choices support that goal? Good intentions are a beginning, but they are not enough. Action gives intention power. This does not mean you must be perfect. You will have weak days. You will make mistakes. You may fail. But your overall direction matters. Are you returning to the work? Are you learning from your mistakes? Are you becoming more honest with yourself? Are your actions slowly moving closer to your words? That is progress. A wise person does not talk as if they are perfect. They know their weaknesses. They understand their limits. They keep working on themselves without making a show of it. Humility makes them teachable. Discipline makes them dependable. Consistency makes them powerful. And silence protects their focus. There is another reason actions are stronger than words. People remember examples. A parent may give a long speech about discipline, but a child learns more by watching the parent's habits. A leader may talk about honesty, but the team watches how the leader behaves when things become difficult. A teacher may speak about kindness, but students remember how they were treated. Your life is always teaching something. Even when you are not speaking, people are learning from your behavior. That is why you should try to become the example of what you believe. Do not only talk about peace. Practice peace. Do not only talk about respect. Show respect. Do not only talk about hard work. Work hard. Do not only talk about loyalty. Be loyal. Do not only talk about growth. Keep growing. Your example may inspire people more than your advice ever could. Sometimes people do not need another speech. They need to see that change is possible. They need to see someone who stayed disciplined. They need to see someone who survived failure. They need to see someone who remained kind without becoming weak. They need to see someone who built a better life step by step. Your actions can become that message. This is why silent growth is so powerful. At first, nobody may notice. You may feel invisible. Your hard work may seem small. But every strong result begins in a stage where nobody is clapping. The seed grows under the ground before anyone sees the tree. Your discipline grows the same way. You keep showing up. You keep learning. You keep improving. Then one day, the result becomes visible. People may call it luck. They may call it sudden success. But you will know the truth. It was created through hundreds of quiet choices. Do not become discouraged because your actions are not receiving attention yet. Attention is not the same as progress. Some people receive attention before they are ready. Some people build quietly and become strong enough to keep what they achieve. Choose strength over appearance. Choose substance over attention. Choose real progress over empty praise. There will also be times when you must speak. Silence does not mean never using your voice. Speak when you need to protect someone. Speak when truth is being hidden. Speak when your words can guide, encourage, or prevent harm. But even then, support your words with action. Do not tell people to be brave while you always avoid fear. Do not ask others to be disciplined while you refuse responsibility. Do not give advice that you are unwilling to follow. Your message becomes powerful when your life supports it. People do not need perfection from you. They need honesty. They need to see that you are trying. They need to see that you practice what you teach. This gives your words credibility. The more you know, the more you understand that life is not changed by speeches alone. Life changes through decisions. It changes through habits. It changes through repeated effort. It changes through patience. It changes when you do the right thing, even when nobody sees it. So stop announcing every move. Stop explaining every dream. Stop trying to convince everyone of your potential. Use that energy to build. Work until your habits become stronger. Learn until your skill becomes valuable. Grow until your character becomes visible. Heal until your peace no longer depends on other people. Become so consistent that your results answer the questions you once tried to explain. In the end, the strongest message is not what you say about yourself. It is the life you create. Let your discipline speak. Let your kindness speak. Let your patience speak. Let your courage speak. Let your work speak. The more you know, the less you need to say, because your actions will already be telling the world who you are. Lesson 7. The greatest wisdom is to keep learning. The more you know, the more you realize how much you still have to learn. This is the greatest sign of wisdom. A person with little knowledge often believes they know everything. They argue about every topic, refuse advice, and think they are always right. But a truly wise person is different. The more they learn, the more humble they become. They understand that every person has a different experience. Every mistake teaches a lesson. Every challenge reveals a new truth. And every day offers another opportunity to grow. That is why wise people never stop learning. They read books. They listen more than they speak. They ask thoughtful questions. They observe the world carefully. And they are never ashamed to say, "I don't know." Those 3 words are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of honesty. Only an honest person is willing to admit that there is still more to learn. Remember, life changes every day. If you stop learning, you slowly stop growing. Your knowledge may become outdated. Your skills may become weak. Your thinking may become narrow. But when you keep learning, your mind stays fresh. You become more creative. You solve problems more easily. You understand people better. And you become wiser with every experience. Another beautiful thing about learning is that it removes your ego. The more you understand life, the less interested you become in proving that you are right. Instead, you become interested in discovering what is true. You stop arguing to win. You start listening to understand. You stop judging people too quickly. You begin asking, "What can I learn from this person?" Even someone younger than you can teach you something. Even someone with less education may have more life experience. Even your failures can become your greatest teachers if you are willing to learn from them. Never think that success means you no longer need to improve. The day you believe you know everything is the day your growth begins to stop. The strongest people remain students for life. They keep improving their habits. They improve their communication. They improve their character. They improve their discipline. They improve the way they treat others. That is why they continue to grow while others stay the same. As you become wiser, you also become calmer. You no longer feel the need to join every argument. You no longer need to impress everyone. You no longer speak just to hear your own voice. You understand that peace is more valuable than proving a point. Your confidence comes from knowledge. Your wisdom comes from experience. Your strength comes from self-control. And your respect comes from the way you live your life. So, make a promise to yourself today. Never stop learning. Never stop improving. Never stop becoming a better version of yourself. Read one more page. Learn one more skill. Listen a little more. Speak a little less. Think a little deeper. Grow a little stronger every single day. Because real wisdom is not measured by how much you can say. It is measured by how much you understand, how humbly you live, and how positively you influence the people around you. In the end, people may forget your words, but they will never forget your character. They will remember your kindness. They will remember your patience. They will remember your honesty. They will remember your calmness during difficult times. And they will remember that your actions always matched your words. So let this be your way of living. Learn continuously. Stay humble. Speak with purpose. Listen with respect. Act with integrity. And remember, the more you know, the less you need to say. Because true wisdom is heard most clearly through a life well lived. If this video helped you understand the power of wisdom and silence, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Remember, wise people don't speak to impress. They speak to add value. Keep learning, stay humble, and let your actions speak louder than your words. I'll see you in the next video.